Yo, buddy! The movie review is here. Like me. I am Farifamu, and welcome to the channel, guys. If you have not subscribed, make sure you do that. Now, let's talk about Aladdin. I heard about a lot of things about this film. Obviously, we had the whole debacle with the trailer. People didn't like the CGI that was involved. And when it's all said and done, sounds cliche to say, never judge a book by its cover. And I have to tell you, I had a very enjoyable experience watching Aladdin. And as you can see, I can't stop singing the songs. I can't, And just to clarify with you guys, I have watched the original animation, but I was at an age where I couldn't really, remember it properly. I know the characters, I know the genie, I know Aladdin, I know Jafar. I've just always been a Toy Story, Bugs Life kind of guy. Those were the films that resonated with me when I was a kid. But with that being said, let's talk about, first of all, let's just give props to Mena Massoud, who played Aladdin. I think he done a great job. Kudos to him. And I think ultimately with Aladdin's character, I think one of the big points is why it resonated with me is that I think they took a lot of time, a lot of consideration into how Aladdin's character was going to be written. So they made him a character that admired things other than himself. They made him flawed as well by the fact that he's an orphan and he's never known his parents. That's what made us empathize with him, and then ultimately made us realize the predicament and the scenario that he was in. He was a smuggler so that he could live well. And as much as he is a nice person, the smuggling element is a thing that's ultimately, it's kind of like a character defect with him, and ultimately something that helps him get out of sticky situations, which I think was the way that it was directed with that persona of his character. I think Guy Ritchie done an amazing job with that. So yeah, props to Mena Massoud. I think he done a great job. I think Naomi Scott was, in the beginning, I have to say, in the very beginning of Aladdin, because they had American accents, and obviously this is kind of a theme, in Aladdin, that it's meant to partake within the Middle East. And when you hear these American accents at the beginning of the film, it's kind of like, I don't know how to feel about this. It's just the kind of thing that it's just something that falls on ears, really. And because the characters, for me, they were written well, in my opinion, the accent discrepancy kind of faded away as the movie went along. And another thing that a lot of people have been complaining about was the dance sequences. This whole thing of that they felt that they were rushed, they were too fast, and people couldn't keep up. I didn't necessarily have that experience whatsoever. I loved every minute of those dance sequences for me. Perceivably, I don't know why there's actually a demographic in the first place that judge a film before it's come out. I will never understand that. But the scenes, it's just full of energy. It's I think partly why it resonates with me is because I've been in theatre for 5 years, and when you see people using their body, using it to the best of their ability, it gives you that zest and it gives you that energy. And I think all those performers and those set pieces were really done brilliantly. There's in particular a second. Once we go into the second act, when Aladdin comes back to a certain point in the story, there's this whole dance sequence, and I love it. And another dance sequence which was really funny, where Aladdin is trying to win over Jasmine. I thought that was done really well. Now, I think Will Smith really came into his own in this film, and he look. Listen, as far as people want to say, oh, he can't sing, he can't do this, or he can't do that. Will Smith, he handed himself over to this role and he gave everything, you know, even if you think that he's off key, or I think none of that really matters, you know, because I think he done a great job, giving it his best. And in particular, when he comes out of the lamp, he was cool. You know, he really, just every moment he was on screen, whether he was the blue, the animated genie, or he was genie that was in human form, he captivated the screen. I really do think he captivated the screen. And I think really where people have their discrepancies, and where maybe I have my discrepancies with this film, is basically with Jafar. He is a generic, he's written as, but it kind of works for Aladdin in a way. He's kind of like this generic villain. I'm bad, I'm evil, you know, here's my staff, you know, I don't like, you know what I mean? He wasn't, there's not really a motivation behind why it's like he wants power. Why does he want power? We never know as an audience. He's just a bad guy doing bad things, really. And as far as the actor portraying Jafar with his acting ability, I think he'd done a good job. But I think that there's something that's been lost in situ with the editing of him for some reason. Like, when he'd be talking or he'd be having a scene with another character, there'd be like this bad guy theme in the background. And that would, and for me, that would kind of overshadow his actual performance that he would be giving on screen. And, you know, I was just thinking to myself, you know, there doesn't need to be this music, this bad person theme in the background with his character. I just wanted to just see him act, you know. I think ultimately, the executives and the producers, they wanted to make a thing of, oh, look, he's the bad villain, you know, don't like him kind of thing. But I personally don't think there needed to be a theme in the background every time he was talking, because it actually took away from the film a little bit for me. I mean, in the eyes of a 6-year-old kid, I don't know, I'm not going to be as judgmental or critical, I'd say, of those scenes. They're just going to know that that's the bad person, you know. Let's talk very quickly about Naomi Scott. I think in the beginning, there was this kind of weird feeling for me where I was like, oh, I was really rooting for them, and you know, I was really rooting for them. I was like, you know, I was just hard, because here's the thing. I think the actors are given their role. I just was not. I was just scared about the writing. In particular, there was one moment that I got a bit scared when there's something that kind of partakes when Aladdin comes back and the characters are acting like as if they've never seen each other before. But it gets cleared up when there's a scene on the carpet and they're talking. It's like, oh, okay, now it makes sense, kind of thing. If they didn't make that kind of continuity within the story, I think there would have been more, you know, there would have been more people that would be bashing this film. But overall, man, I had a great time. I really did. you know, Will Smith was captivating, Mena Massoud, Naomi Scott. They were doing a good job, you know. And for me, this film gets it gets an 8 out of 10. It's my guilty pleasure of the year so far. Yeah, good film, enjoyable film. I'd watch it again. So yeah, definitely I recommend it, guys. You go out there, you go see it. Yeah, guys, that concludes this movie review. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Bada bing, bada boom. I'll see you in the next video.